Glory to the Alliance, Demon Hunter. We are making gains against the Horde in the Crossrang Wilds, albeit slowly. While we hold the front here, we need your help to fight a different battle, one that strikes at our enemy's heart. Our SI-7 informant, Agent Connolly, has sent word that a Horde vanguard is moving up into the northern reaches of Kunlai Summit. Go without delay, make contact with Agent Donnelly in the field, and find out what is going on. Speak to Fenny over there for a flight in.
The soldier's duty is never done.
Howdy, how are you today? Again, pretend that like a matter of a week or so, or a couple of weeks passes in between each mission, so that it's the first time we've seen each other in a couple of weeks or whatever. After I dropped you off last time, I heard that there was some kind of Shaw infecting our soldiers at the Shrine of Seven Stars. Yep. Because they foolishly, well, yeah. If you and Prince Anduin hadn't been there, we could have all been turning on each other, letting our anger get the best of us. I mean, especially with Rogers there, right? I keep waiting for something like, to be done with Rogers at this point. We haven't seen Rogers really since Legion, and I feel like they don't know what to do with her. And I feel like we need to have some kind of continuation or even resolution when it comes to Rogers. Because in the current storyline, well, let's just say I'm kind of eager to know what exactly she's doing, and, well, anyways. I also heard that King Varian swore that he would never use the Shaw to no good. Maybe Varian ain't such a sour grape after all. Good to see that our king shows some heart. Yeah, like I said, Varian was starting to grow in Pandaria. Anyway, Agent Connolly sent me word to bring you to him in Kunlai Summit. Sounds like the Horde are close to finding the location of that Divine Bell, and that ain't no good. You'd better meet up with them in the field and see what Garrosh is up to. Oh, there's one other mount I wanted to add for us to use. It's the mount we actually get in this campaign, but I've already gotten it because I did this on the Horde site and gives you both mounts. This one right here. The Grand Griffin. When it comes to Griffin mounts, because we all know how much Griffins are loved in the Alliance. Alright, good luck. You're gonna need it. Sorry, I had to get the Star Wars reference in there. We got that one from Crystal Song Forest. Got this one randomly in a quest from going back to BFA for some reason. And then here are some of the other ones that you can get from the vendor. Some of the other kind of generic ones. Aha. That's one that apparently the Horde can also use. Ah, the Spectral one. This was a promotion one, that's right. Now, some of the ones I don't have, though. Oh, that's right. Order of Embers Exalted from Drustvar. I never got that. I thought I had gotten... Maybe I didn't have the gold for it. I'll have to go double check. Because I'm pretty sure that I did that rep grind. Yes, I did. I did do that rep grind. On my other Demon Hunter that I mained in BFA on the Alliance. So I'll have to go back and see if I can actually get this. But I think I need to transfer some gold over to that character. Because as you can see, it costs 90,000 gold. And it's not exactly a great, amazing looking mount that I think is worth that kind of gold. And then we got this. Okay, so I'm wrong. It looks like I would actually get this from Shield Wall Exalted. Okay, so when this character goes from being a time runner to a regular retail character, I can get this mount because I'm Exalted with Operation Shield Wall, and I can go ahead and grab this. A Grand Armored Griffin, which is kind of similar to that other one. And again, another mount that's 90,000 gold, but you know, exalted, which I know I did. So.
What's on your mind?
You do a double take when the Pandaren suddenly speaks with Conley's voice. That's right, a Pandaren just spoke with a dwarven voice. About time, lassie. I've been waiting for you to show up. These Pandaren are good people, but they can't mix a martini for nothing. I'm so amused that a dwarf is like critical of the Pandarans when it comes to making alcoholic drinks. Considering that Pandarans are all about making brew, and I know that the Pandarans and the dwarves would get along well because they both love to make brew, and it's just kind of so amusing to hear him say that. It's like, they don't know what it takes to make a good martini. I'm like, dude, I think you need to try some of the other brews before you go around criticizing, because I'm sure you're going to be mighty impressed by some of the other brews they can make, pal.
Very good.
I'm so amused also that Grifta is over here talking about all this stuff. Garrosh is hell bent on finding that divine bell. I wouldn't be surprised if he told Kunlai summit apart to find that artifact. The war chiefs called a gather in the Garrosh advance, just to our north. I need to stay here to monitor troop movement, so you'll have to infiltrate their camp and overhear the discussion. Go to Garrosh advance and steal some Kron armor from Reavers, honor guards, and scouts. Take this radio earpiece. Don't contact me. I'll contact you.
Watch your back.
So let's see.
I'm out of range.
As you look at the assembled Korkron disguise, your radio earpiece then crackles. Agent Connolly's voice comes over the radio. Aye, you're good. I knew those Korkron wouldn't be a problem for you. Couldn't have done much better myself. Let's go ahead and put the disguise on. Roar! Wait a minute. I don't exactly look all that... Oh, wait, no. It turned me to a female orc. Okay. Now comes the real challenge, lassie. Head on over to the center of the camp and see what you can overhear. For the Horde, for the War Chief, for Garrosh, for Hellscream. Excuse me. Drink the memory wine. I am losing patience, Shankian. Tell me where I can find the divine bell. Kill me if you must, but I owe no allegiance to you or your horde. The only master I serve is the Thunder King. Ishi, draw your blade. A few carefully delivered cuts will change his mind. Garrosh, please, there may be another way, one that requires no bloodshed. Speak, then. Let us use persuasion, not force. I have here a cask of Pandaren memory wine. It will allow us to see into Shan Kian's past. So it's worth noting that if you're doing this on the Horde side, Bane asks you to go get the ingredients and make this wine. But as Alliance, we could just walk up and be like, hey, I'll drink this. Which I just find very amusing. That's already here made, and we just pick it up and drink it. Right in front of them, as if they're like, gonna be okay with that.
Are the preparations complete?
Yes, Warlord. The traps are set. The Divine Bell will be safe within this crypt, ready for the day that the Thunder King returns. We have but to evacuate the workers and the rest of our warriors.
There is no time. The Shadowpan trackers are too close. They cannot learn the location of the bell.
Very well then. May the ghosts of our brothers guard this place for all eternity.
Their sacrifice will not be in vain. And neither of our two will yours.
So I drink that, and now I'm just gonna be like, well, thanks for the information, guys. See ya. Whee!
What? That cork grunt drank the wine is leaving! Get them back here!
Seriously, why aren't they, like, reacting as if, like, I just drank the wine and left with the information? See, on the Horde, that makes much more sense. On the Alliance, this makes no sense. They can just walk up, drink the wine, and leave with the information. Like, peace!
Interest ya in a pint?
Back so fast, rookie! What did you learn?
Be good.
What? You saw what the Mogu hit the Divine Bell! We're at the Lion's Landing immediately! We gotta get this thing before Garrosh! We'll contact you as soon as we find it. In the meantime, go do some more dailies so you can work on your rep.
Adversity, our constant companion.
It's time for our boldest move yet. Since you acquired intel on the location of the Divine Bell, we've amassed a top team to excavate the artifact without delay. Commander Serana Skyglaive leads the expedition into the northernmost reaches of Kunlai Summit. Join them at once, and use whatever skills you need to make the endeavor a success. Good luck, Demon Hunter. I don't need to tell you how important this mission is to the Alliance. Speak to Fenny.
The Alliance must prevail.
I hope you remember, who we just mentioned, because we met her earlier, and I also hope you remember her for when we do this on the Horde side. Who just left all the documenting to me? You know that for every artifact we find, I've got 6 forms to fill out? What do we need all these forms for, I ask? Oh, we ain't got no time to lose. We've been looking all over Kunlai Summit for a place that matches what you saw in the Mogu's memory, and we finally found the Kurun's hiding place. If we don't get to the Divine Bell first, that lizard-living nut-brain Garrosh will. I don't much fancy fighting a horde that commands the power of the bleep and Shaw. I'm so amused that she used bleeping as a way to censor herself. Oh, Commander Skyglaive is already working with a team of Explorers League archaeologists at the dig site. We're sending out our best, and that means you. Oh, shucks, Fenny. I do like how this is a nice way to uncover portions of the map if you don't have them uncovered already. Mount Everest. There's the monastery. Here we are. There's no time to waste. Good luck. You're gonna need it. So, you'll see Anduin is here. Some Explorers League, some Sentinels. Bran is here, so is Hilda. And Serana Skyglaive. I said we saw her earlier. I want you to remember her for later. And I also want you to remember her when you see me do this campaign on the Horde side.
What brings you here?
We blasted the doors open moments ago, Demon Hunter. You arrived just in time to join us for the excavation.
Del Nadris.
There's no telling what lies below, so I'll lead the initial scouting party myself. If your report was correct, then the Karun Mogu hid the Divine Bell in the rooms below our very feet. I have a feeling that they would not have left such a precious artifact unguarded. I could use a capable demon hunter such as yourself to watch my back. Let me know when you're ready.
Goddess watch over you.
Stay vigilant, hero. This place has been sealed for centuries. Who knows what we will encounter within?
What indeed? In fact... Alright, we're fully buffed. Alright, white squares only.
I see light. Finally, after centuries of silence, someone comes at last. I have kept the bell safe, as promised, Master. Wait, you are not Mogu. Intruders!
So yeah, Avartu...
Guardians, awaken! Destroy those who would steal the...
What was that thing? No matter. We will strike down any who stand in our way.
Avartu was the Mogu that was knocked back into this place before it was sealed. He was the one who was like, no one will find it, and neither will you. And then he knocks him back in and seals it. So yeah, that's what happened to that guy. So let's see if we can catch him. We are in pursuit! Oh wait, that's right. I forgot about these things. Of course, the demon hunter. Whee! It's like, oh look, I skipped all that. I can trip it and I can run past it because in Remix, demon hunters are super fast. Because we can get a ton of mastery and therefore, well, you can see how fast I'm running, right? And this is like pale in comparison to what other demon hunters can do when they get a lot of mastery in this event. Because remember, more mastery means more movement speed. I have 165% movement speed. But trust me, like, I have even more on my other one, and there are plenty of others that can get more. So there's the Divine Bell. So yeah, this is what happened to Avartu.
There it is, hero. The Divine Bell. We must take it somewhere safe. Sentinels, let's get to work.
So they open a portal to Darnassus. Because we all know that Darnassus is the safest place in Azeroth, right? Sorry. That's a bad joke considering what happens in BFA.
Hello.
Fantastic work. I could not even imagine the atrocity that Garrosh could commit if this bell were to fall into his hands. Today we've secured a safe future for the Alliance. I'll see to it that the bell makes it safely to Darnassus. I'll extol your deeds to the king. Remember this for later.
Be careful.
Not just for later in this campaign and what's coming up, but also for, well, if you then see the next part on the Horde side that happens, like, basically at the same time this happens. So unfortunately I have to go back on foot because, well, my Hearthstone's on cooldown, and I don't have another means to get out of here, at least I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't actually, no, I take that back. I can do this. Whee! So this takes me to the nearest voucher, which is over here. And then we can just fly back. So, we secured the Divine Bell! It's in Darnassus, and it's completely safe, and yeah, everything's gonna be fine, right? Right? So again, you then want to see the two parts on the Horde side that actually follow this mission, in order to then see what then happens next here on the Alliance side. If I was doing this as if I was like, as one playlist where I was doing this on both, where I was switching back and forth between characters, I would then, right now, switch to my Horde character and show you the next two missions that follow this, before we then do the next Alliance mission. But I am not, so I'm kind of just giving you that heads up and recommendation that if you want to kind of follow along to see how cohesive the story for both sides is, that's what I would recommend doing. I know it'd be a little hard to follow along the way I've got these set up, and the fact that the Horde playlist is much longer than the Alliance one, but there you go.
This land tests us, friend.
Oh man, he literally starts off by saying, as you know, our Night Elven allies moved the Divine Bell to retrieve... Yes, you don't have to do the as you know expedition, dude. I just did it. Moments ago, they portaled some highborn mages over here to ask for backup. Details are hazy. Some sort of stealth attack on the city? I don't know what to make of it, but Jaina Proudmoore is already on the scene, and I suspect that they all need all the help that they can get. Speak to Seamus Goldenkicks over there for a quick portal to Darnassus. Find Jaina.
We mustn't fail.
Here there.
I need a portal to Darnassus.
Watch your back.
Oh, no, no! The bell!
So yeah, on the Horde side, they get there to the crypt next. They take down Savannah, find out that it went here to Darnassus, and then the Horde does a infiltration mission, a stealth mission, to sneak in and find and take the Divine Bell. Now, I didn't talk about this when I did this on the Horde side. I'm going to go ahead and talk about it now. As you are doing the campaign on the Horde side, this campaign on the Horde side, there is a Blood Elf character who is consistently there to help you do this. Now, it's not Lorthamar. And it's not some of the other NPCs that he assigns. It's one other guy that keeps showing up. He even at one point talks back to Garrosh, who is about to slay the Mogu that we saw, and tells Garrosh to stay his hand so we can interrogate him. And on the Horde side, when you watch that, you'll hear me say that I thought that took a lot of balls on the part of that Blood Elf to actually say that to Garrosh, of all people. But what I didn't point out was that particular Blood Elf kept showing up, including up to this point where he actually helps our character. Not only he only makes a portal to get us to Darnassus, but then he's also able to help us utilize stealth to sneak past everything here in this city and find the bell in here. And as we're about to see, this place was secure. Even Jaina took steps to make sure that other people trying to sneak in and get the bell could not get in here. And yet somehow that particular blood elf was able to help us get in here. And then after we find the bell and get it out of there and leave, he's like, all right, I'm going to stay behind and help clean things up to make sure they can't follow us or find us. You can go ahead and move on. I'll take care of things here. I bring that up because I want you to see what we're about to discover here as our alliance character, and see whether or not you think this guy cleaned things up and I'm not the only one who has a theory about that particular Blood Elf character, and considering what happens later on, I kind of agree with the theory. In fact, I'm kind of on board with the idea that the theory. Now, some have speculated that there is a lot of circumstantial stuff in here, that's just circumstances and not some kind of conspiracy behind the scenes. But considering the way that this setting is and how many various different factions have a tendency to be manipulative and do a lot of conspiracy stuff, I'm kind of inclined to go on that side of things.
Question everything.
The bell is gone! At the scene of the crime, we found traces of arcane magic. I may be able to use my skills to track the thieves.
Goodbye.
We will get to the bottom of this. You're coming with me. We'll search every inch of this city if we have to, but we will find out how they took the bell and where. I'm picking up traces of arcane magic here. We need to follow the trail.
Remember, Theramore. Come with me.
For the record, my Horde character does not take the trail that you see here. This is not the trail that my character took. Because I'm looking at this, I'm like, I didn't go this way. This is... because there's someone right there. I was avoiding everybody.
Is locked down. Every fumbling rogue that tried to sneak into the city, I caught them. I snatched every two-bit charlatan that attempted to teleport through my traps.
That's right. Jaina had this place locked down, as she says. And yet somehow that random blood elf that we had never seen before until this campaign, and by the way, we never see him again after this campaign. He disappears after we do this, and we never see him again. I bring that up because of what we're about to see, and then I'll drop the little bombshell of what the theory is and what I believe is the case, because I have a tendency to agree with this theory. To help explain...
You couldn't possibly have gotten through. This was an inside job. Somebody inside the city has the bell, unless... No.
Sorry, just taking a moment to take in Teldrassil before, well, you know what's going to happen.
These portals connect to Delaran. That means the Kirin Tor, my own Kirin Tor, helped the Horde commit this atrocity. I will not be betrayed again. Those responsible for this will be punished.
Alright, so I gotta talk about this. Because, as I mentioned, on the Horde side, the guy's like, oh, I'll clean things up. And yet he leaves not only a trail for Jaina to follow, but he also leaves the portal we used just open like this. He didn't close it behind him or anything. He left it here open. This backs up the theory. The theory that I'm bringing forward here and letting you guys know is that the blood elf that was helping us on the Horde side to do these things was not actually a blood elf. It was a Nathrazim. Now, I know that people love to make the joke that Jaina is the Dreadlord in this scenario, But what some of us really believe is that the Blood Elf, I forget his name, but again, he only shows up during this campaign. He helps us in every one of these quests to do these things. On the Horde side, he helps us sneak in to get the bell, and then he gets us out and he's like, oh, I'll clean things up so they don't find us. And yet he clearly left this stuff here. That guy is the Dreadlord in this situation. Now, you're probably saying, what? Why would it be a Nathrezim? Why do you think that? Because there are numerous hints throughout Pandaria that the Burning Legion were returning. In fact, as I have said before, the original intention by Blizzard, they were already working on Legion when this was going on. When Pandaria was live, they were already working on Legion. Here's the problem. Legion was such a monumental, colossal job and task for them that they needed more time to work on it, which is what led to the creation of Warlords of Draenor. Warlords of Draenor, as I've said, was literally made because the team that was working on Legion needed more time to work on it. But the intended plan was always that the Legion was on their way back and that it was going to follow Mists of Pandaria in the story. So the idea that the Nathrezim were already here, behind the scenes, manipulating things to make the Horde and the Alliance be back at war with each other so they could tear themselves apart, so they would both be weaker, so that when the Legion arrived, the Legion could just easily completely run over them. It makes complete and total sense at that point to think that a Nathrezim would be in disguise, manipulate things so that this would happen, because how else do you explain this guy just leaving this portal open? Don't give me circumstance, don't give me, oh, he could have just forgotten. No. This was intentional, and the fact, as I said, that is this campaign. It's the only time we've ever seen this guy. And then after this, he disappears and we never see him again. And that is just way, way too suspicious to be just a coincidence. It's at that point, it's because we know how the Dreadlords work. We know how the Nathrezim love to do things behind the scenes, manipulate things, be in disguise and all that. We've seen them do it before. It's completely believable at that point that, yeah, that was a Nathrezim, and he's orchestrated this whole thing to try and get the Alliance and the Horde to fight against each other. Now, this is a big moment, because this right here, because we had already done that quest. You saw that quest we did before, right? Where we went to Dalaran, we talked to both Anduin and Jaina, and Jaina was pretty convinced about keeping Dalaran neutral, about making the Kirin Tor not be part of the Alliance, but rather having them be neutral, to try and push forward this ideal that the Alliance and the Horde can both continue to work together, because that's how the Sunreavers and the Silver Covenant have done things in Dalaran for a long time. They have both worked together, you know, maybe not in harmony, but they've worked together side by side, showing that, yeah, the Alliance and Horde can work together. And now she discovers this. And now she finds out that the people that she considers the Kirin Tor to be her people, and she considers Dalaran to be her city. You know, whether or not that's actually true, we could make a case that Kul Tiras is actually her home and not Dalaran. But then again, she also just lost Theramore, so her other home has already been destroyed by this point. So her only home here, because remember, at this point in time, Kul Tiras has basically banished or shunned Jaina because she's considered a traitor amongst her people for what happened to her father. So she has this massive close connection to Dalaran because she basically grew up there as a student under, oh gosh, what was his name? The Archmage who was in Warcraft 3 who fell to Death Knight Arthas. There's a statue of him in Dalaran, which I can show when we get there, but, oh gosh, I'm actually blanking on his name at the moment. But the point is that he basically kind of raised Jaina there in the Kirin Tor as, like, you know, he was like her father figure in that regard after she lost her actual dad. She was basically growing up as, you know, with the Kirin Tor basically as her family. So she has this massive close connection to the Kirin Tor and to Dalaran. And she believed that she and everybody else in the Kirin Tor and Dalaran were staying to this neutral ideal that we are not going to get involved. Even though we do affiliate ourselves with certain factions, like the Sunreavers affiliate with the Horde, the Silver Covenant affiliate with the Alliance. Yes, they affiliate with them, but they're not being actively a part of that or involved. They are instead trying to stay neutral and continue to work together. And she believed that everybody in the Kirin Tor was the same way, that they would all stay out of it and not get involved. And now she discovers this, that someone in Dalaran actually did do this, which she sees as a betrayal. Because she probably told all of them, we're not going to do this, I don't want anyone to get involved, and they're probably like, oh yeah, sure. And then she discovers this, that they actually did not go along with what she said, that she considers this a massive betrayal. And this is a massive, important breaking point for Jaina, because this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. She has been on thin ice this whole time, ever since Theramore. Remember, she went to Orgrimmar and tried to drown them in a massive tidal wave, and it took Thrall and Caligos to convince her not to do that. And she's been trying to, calm down and in a horrible emotional place ever since then, trying to not let herself get pushed too far or break emotionally. And then this happens, and this is what absolutely breaks that. This feeling of betrayal is the ultimate thing that completely breaks her and sends her into a spiral that she will not get out of until we get to BFA. And you're about to see the results of this initial betrayal and how her initial reaction to it is, because Jaina, from this point onwards, she's going to be completely different. She's now basically no longer, that whole, we're going to stay out of it, we're going to be neutral, we're going to hold on to these ideals. No. She's done with that now. She is done with that.
The Alliance needs heroes like you more than ever.
I've decided. Certain members of the Kirin Tor have put their allegiance to the Horde above the Order, and I will not tolerate it. This is nothing short of a betrayal. Her eyes flare with rage. Come with me. We are going to clean up Dalaran.
May magic protect you.
For too long, I've toiled to mend fences between Alliance and Horde. Time and time again, I have given the Horde the benefit of the doubt, and time again, they stab me in the back. I refuse to be betrayed again. If the Horde intends to use the Kirin Tor as a weapon against the Alliance, then they have no place in Dalaran. Come with me.
Remember Theramore. Aethys Sunreaver! You've betrayed the Kirin Tor, Sunreaver. You've allowed Garrosh to move his forces through my city.
You have it all wrong, Jaina. I did nothing.
You looked the other way. You and your insubordinate kind are no longer welcome here.
This is our city too, Proudmoore.
I see. I will remove the Sunreavers by force then. You, Aethys, will be coming with me.
So, first of all, Aethys is voiced by the guy who plays Nathanos. They do change his voice actor later, but yeah, it's just kind of amusing hearing that guy is voicing Aethys. But you can see at this point that Jaina's just done with this. She is at a very horrible point right now. And Jaina is now going through the streets of Dalaran with water elementals, and she's killing Sunreavers in the streets who refuse to surrender. So this is Varisa Windrunner. You may recognize the last name. She is, of course, the sister of both Sylvanas and Illyria. She was also the wife of Ronan. So she is now a widow, as I point out, that Ronan died. And basically, since then, she has grown a massive hatred for the Horde because she considers the Horde responsible for the death of her husband, which she still holds on to that basically until, up to this day. She still has never really let that go, like Rogers. And it's kind of unfortunate that this is basically her character, is that from this point onwards, Varissa's character is just, I hate the Horde because they killed my husband. Which I could make a case that it's actually Garrosh who killed her husband, but instead of the entire Horde. But then again, we keep coming back to this whole thing that they keep wanting to blame the entirety of the Horde and not separate the people from the Horde. We just had this discussion with Jaina and Anduin earlier. And now this is the case here. Again, you'll see that there's a bunch of Sunreavers just running around. Very little health. I mean, here it's 288, but trust me, the point here is that they have very little health, and that Jaina... When I did this on the Horde, I looked over at Jaina, and I checked her health. It was massive. The point was that there was no way you could actually take on Jaina in this scenario as a Horde character, because she would just one-shot you, or if she saw you, she would just teleport you into the prison over there in the Violet Hold. I'm gonna admit something here. This is a part of this campaign that actually makes me a little uncomfortable and a little sick, because we are about to do some quests that we're basically joining in on both Varissa, Jaina, and the Silver Covenant in. They're going to want to just go around and just kill any Sunreaver in sight. Just any of them. No matter if they're actually part of the military or just random innocent civilians. They just want to kill them. Any of them on sight. This became known as the Purge of Dalaran, because that is basically what Jaina is doing here. She is purging the city of any Horde races. Any of them. Doesn't matter if they are just a civilian living their life, or if they're someone who is actually involved. Doesn't matter. They either need to be imprisoned or killed.
We stand together.
I'll instruct you from here on out. So there's Jaina. Let me show you. She has 231 million health. Now, that may not sound... Now, compared to, say, a current raid boss in Dragonflight, that may not sound as much as, say, Farak or Tindril. But we're not in a raid. This is kind of like a solo player scenario. So imagine as a Horde character you try to take her on. There is no way you're taking her on. Not to mention she also has 2 very powerful water elementals as well.
Greetings.
I'll instruct you from here on out. Jaina will be going down to the city to enforce our new rules. Notice that Varissa is totally behind this. Why wouldn't she be? She gets a chance to vent out her grief over her husband on these Horde civilians. Doesn't matter to her that they're just civilians. They're part of the Horde and they killed her husband, right?
Aldiel Shala.
I have long awaited for an opportunity to deal with the Sunreavers. I asked my late husband to remove them from the city, but he believed too firmly in the neutrality of the Kirin Tor. He was wise, but he was short-sighted. This has always been the destiny of the Kirin Tor, to serve the Alliance. Fortunately, Khadgar does not agree. In fact, Khadgar will make it a point of making sure that does not happen by the time Legion comes around, because even by the end of Legion, Khadgar makes it clear he's not someone who cares about allegiance to the Alliance. He cares about Azeroth, not the Alliance. He even says that he was so proud of having members on both sides work together that he would not take up arms against the other after we worked together so hard to fight the Legion. Let's just say I'm glad that Khadgar is the one who basically helps take over the Kirin Tor.
Together we will save Azeroth.
Jaina's doing a good job taking care of Sunreavers above ground, but there's still plenty rooting around in the sewers. Go find those lying rats and exterminate them.
Remember those we lost.
So, I want to bring your attention to the names of these quests. Well. Sewer cleaning, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, unfair trade, and cashing out.
Until next time.
Compliant Sunreavers will be sent to the Violet Hold. Defiant ones are put to the sword. None are to escape. The Sunreavers keep their Dragonhawk mounts on Crassus Landing. Take this dust and use it to render them incapable of flying. Or kill them. I don't care.
Aldiel Shala.
I just saw one of the Sunreavers, Braziel, I think his name was, running off in the direction of the bank to the north. No doubt he's trying to gather whatever assets he can before he leaves. Head him off and make sure he doesn't steal any resources from our coffers. He relinquished whatever funds he left in the bank when he and his Sunreaver's kind betrayed us. That's an interesting perspective on that.
Remember those we lost.
The Sunreaver Sanctuary is still crawling with those horde-loving Sunreavers. Jaina will have sent the reasonable ones to the Violet Hold. The rest refuse to leave, raising their weapons against us. Show them the cost of their defiance. They now face the judgment of the Alliance, the Silver Covenant, and the Kirin Tor.
Until next time, fight well.
Most shopkeepers in the Mage's Commerce Exchange have sided with the Silver Covenant, but there remain a few holdouts that must be taken care of. They will not go easily. She shows me a list of names. So she wants me to also go slay a bunch of merchants as well.
Aldiel Shala.
Can you see why these quests make me very uncomfortable and kind of sick to do? This is something that I've just found myself wondering. I've always wanted to ask other Alliance players, like, how did you feel doing these quests? Were you okay with this? Just going out here and just slaughtering people who did not have any direct involvement with what happened? Because the important thing to keep in mind here is that I'm going to go ahead and give this away. Yes, it's very obvious that Aethys was clearly involved with what happened, even if he denies it. We actually see him basically give it away that he actually was involved. But the problem is, he was basically like the only one. All these other Sunreavers that are just civilians, they didn't have any direct involvement in that. But it doesn't matter. They are Blood Elves, and Sunreavers. Therefore, they must have been involved. So therefore, they have to die. I'm gonna go ahead and double check this. Antonidas, that was his name. Archmage Antonidas, Grand Magus of the Kirin Tor. The great city of Dalaran stands once again, a testament to the tenacity and will of its greatest son. Your sacrifices will not have been in vain, dearest friend. With love and honor, Jaina Proudmoore. Yeah.
I need to get closer.
So yeah, this is one of those rare times where an Alliance character can actually go into the Sunreaver portion of Dalaran. Because we're not even, like, talking to them being like, you have to surrender. No, we're just running in and just, like, immediately killing them. Now, yes, they are attacking us on sight the moment they see us. But considering what they're seeing outside with Jaina, wouldn't you, if you were one of these Sunreavers and you're seeing Jaina just going around slaughtering any Sunreaver she spots, and you see us show up, wouldn't you just immediately think we're basically here to do her bidding and just immediately attack us to fight for your life? So I honestly don't blame any of these Sunreavers for doing that because they think they're fighting for their lives, which they are. But what I really don't like is that, and this is unfortunately a thing when it comes to MMOs, a lot of the times the player character doesn't get the choice of what they want to do. My character here doesn't have an option to not participate in this. If you want to play a character, an Alliance character, where you're not okay with the idea of just going out and slaughtering members of the Sunreavers just out in the streets like this, you don't get a choice.
I don't have a target.
You have to do this to progress. You cannot choose to not join Jaina in doing these things.
Not tolerate insurrection.
Blast! The Silver Covenant is here! I'm not part of the Silver Covenant. But hey, I'm doing stuff on behalf of Varys and Jaina, so maybe I sort of end up... Maybe I sort of am at this point. It's funny, though, not seeing... Of course, this is a different version than what the Horde player gets to do, or gets to be a part of.
It is too far away.
So it won't let me... For some reason, it won't let me do that. Oh, because they're not below health. Okay. Nope, never mind. It still won't let me do it. Okay, now it will.
I don't have a target.
And once I attacked it, that one died.
I cannot use that item yet.
Interesting that that particular Sunreaver didn't attack me.
It's still recharging.
So yeah, jeez Louise. When you're doing this on the Alliance side, obviously, you see that we're basically kind of doing just what we're told by Varisa, while Jaina is just walking around, just, you know, taking care of any of them, in, you know, in her sight. Again, Jaina is in a very bad place right now after what just happened. And basically, the Silver Covenant and Varisa are just taking advantage, like, yes, now we have an excuse! Now we finally have an excuse to deal with these filthy Sunreavers. We have hated having to deal with them all this time, and now we finally get to have an excuse to actually slaughter them. Yes! This is basically the approach they are taking with this. If you want to see what happens after this, you know, watch the Horde side of this, where you're basically infiltrating here to try and save and rescue as many of these Sunreavers as you can, including Aethys, by the way. Which then will lead to the great speech by Lorthamar that I mentioned. But it's also worth noting, we're about to, when we get done with this mission and we report back to Varian on what happened here in Dalaran, we're going to find out something about what was actually happening behind the scenes with the Blood Elves as well as the Alliance. Because something was happening that Jaina was not aware of, and neither were we, until we finish this mission. And then it's going to be a little bit more like, when you do this on the Horde side, it'll be like, oh, you know? Because you're going to get indications about this from the Blood Elf side of things as well.
My bow is at the ready. Fight well.
It's nice to have those rats out of here for good. Well done, hero.
Remember those we lost.
While I can't say I agree completely with Jaina's methods, I do understand her motives. Sometimes you just have to fight back.
Until next time. Together we
This is a
will
bloody
save
day,
Azeroth.
and this is bloody work. But do not forget what the Sunreavers did to bring this on. They used neutral Kirin Tor resources to aid the Horde in their fight against the Alliance. Do not hesitate to believe that they would do the same to us, given the chance. You notice how often that mentality comes up amongst the Alliance? They would do the same to us. Not really thinking about some of the other people in the Horde that would not, but then again, that's the Alliance for you. I'm not trying to be like a big hater of the Alliance or anything, but it's hard not to feel that way. Like I said, these quests actually kind of disgust me. It's the kind of thing that makes me reminds me why I usually play Horde instead of Alliance, because of stuff like this. But then again, I do play on both sides. But this was a very bad time for the Alliance, in my opinion, considering what happens here. But fortunately, things do get better. So there is that. And like I said, considering what is happening here, it becomes way too clear that this had to be orchestrated by the Nathrezim. Because if you're a part of the Nathrezim, wouldn't you love seeing this? The Alliance and Horde basically killing and slaughtering each other like this? Because this is just going to make us taking Azeroth when the rest of the Burning Legion gets here, all the easier, won't it?
Aldiel Shala. Fight well.
I suppose it wasn't enough for him to be a coward and a backstabber. He had to be a greedy thief as well. The Horde and the Sunreapers aren't all that different. They deserve one another. And of course, now that he's dead, we can just go ahead and claim all of his assets and financials, right? Because that's how that works, right, Verisa? Ugh. Verisa really has to, like, come around and grow if she's going to, like, get out of this, like... It's hard for me not to hate her. Like, it's actually hard for me to not want to hate her after the way she's gone about this, because she's been this way, like, even to this day. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Your husband died because of Garrosh. But this is just... yeah. I've heard that for years, players on both factions have argued about this whole event on both sides and whether or not this was going too far on either side. You know, Alliance players, I think, have argued that the Horde went too far. I know Horde players have argued that Jaina went too far because, like I said, she's just killing them out in the streets. And these displaced Sunreapers right here, these are civilians. They had nothing to do with what happened, and yet they're getting killed for it.
Until next time.
Now the Sunreapers have to answer to us. Jail or death. Their fate is in their own hands.
Together we will save Azeroth.
This is amusing. It actually got me friendly with Gilneas because of reputation with the Alliance. Thank you for your aid today. I'll be handling the Purge from here on out. I like how even she is calling this the Purge. Jaina will soon be off to Lion's Landing to speak with King Varian. She asked for your attendance.
Remember those we lost. Until next time.
Yeah, just wait till you hear how Varian reacts to what just happened. You think Varian at this point is okay with this? Now, maybe Varian back in Wrath was like, yeah, slaughter those Horde filth. But as I've been pointing out, Varian has been growing. You think this Varian is going to be okay with the idea of us just slaughtering Horde civilians in the streets? And again, he's about to make a revelation to Jaina about what was happening behind the scenes, which is going to just really irk him about what just happened in Dalaran.
The line of Stormwind's kings has been restored.
I can't fault you for following orders. In fact, I can't really fault Jaina for acting on her own behalf for once. But still, we aren't playing a game here. We're dealing with war, with people's lives, with the future of the Alliance itself. At the very least, we now have the Kirin Tor on our side. But today will be remembered by all as a victory for the Alliance.
Never again will our king...
Jaina, what's happening in Dalaran? Has there been an attack?
The Kirin Tor was betrayed from within. I've handled the situation.
How?
I've purged the Horde from Dalaran. You have what you wanted, Your Majesty. The Kirin Tor belongs to the Alliance.
But you said that...
I know what I said. My trust was misplaced.
What of the Sindorai, the Sunreapers?
Those that surrendered are being taken to the Violet Hold. I make no guarantees about those who chose to fight.
Jaina, you need to talk to me before you act.
How I run the Kirin Tor is my business.
I was trying to negotiate with the Sindorai. I was opening discussions to bring them into the Alliance. By attacking their people, you forced their hand.
They chose their own path.
You've driven them back to the Horde.
You're fooling yourself. Once Horde, always Horde. I see that now. I'm mobilizing the Kirin Tor.
Jaina, we've got to work together on this. The Alliance must act as one.
Don't get soft on me, Varian.
Wow. I want you to think about how in the past... Yeah, the game has changed. I want you to think back to Wrath. I want you to think about how Jaina was the one who was urging for us to work together how she was still friends with Thrall and trying to work to help the Horde and the Alliance work together. And Garrosh, yes, but also Varian was the one who was being a racist, bigoted, warmongering idiot that was okay with trying to murder Thrall in the Undercity when we had the whole Undercity event. That he was the one that wanted to slaughter the Horde. And now, what a world is it where now the roles have been reversed here? Where now Jaina is the one who is vehemently against the Horde. And Varian was the one who was trying to work together to even try to bring the Blood Elves into the Alliance, which they used to be a part of. And Jaina is now the one saying to Varian, don't get soft on me. What world is this where Jaina is the one saying that to Varian instead of it being the other way around? Because in Wrath, that was certainly the case. But my, how things have changed. Like I said, this is something that is going to deeply hurt and affect Jaina all the way to BFA. She won't get shaken out of this mindset and this state of, the state of mind, or however you want to say it, like this path she's on. She won't get shaken out of this until the event where Bane saves her brother from Sylvanas, and that's when it kind of shakes Jaina out of it, and she starts to realize just what she has been doing since this event. And this will come back to haunt Jaina. I'll never forget doing the quest where we go into Orgrimmar to save Bane from Sylvanas. Thrall and Varrock is there, and so is Jaina. It depends on which faction you're playing. But they end up running into each other, and they decide to work together to save Bane, because they're all there on behalf of Bane. And when they reach Bane, some Blood Elves meet them. But they're not there on behalf of Sylvanas. They're there because they spotted Jaina, and they wanted to get back at Jaina for this. I kept wondering when the Purge of Dalaran would come back to haunt Jaina, and that was basically the moment where the Blood Elves made it clear that they had not forgotten about the Purge of Dalaran. And at the end of that event, she acknowledges the blood of these Blood Elves are still on her hands to this day. When we come back, we will be continuing the Alliance campaign and see what we can do about dealing with Garrosh now having the Divine Bell. Stay tuned.